Hello. Okay, so I have something to say about money. So basically, if you look at it at a ground level up, money, it's a currency, it's a form of exchange. It can be exchanged universally across different monetary systems and so forth. Your place in a society in certain ways is dictated by the money you have and so forth. All of that at the material and ground level exists, and there's an extremely deep line in thinking of it. There's a very great level to it, which is completely true. But at a deeper sense, if you think about money, what is money made out of? Some may say it's made out of paper. Some may say that it's meaningless. It only has what it's able to exchange for. All that is also true, but it's actually just made out of consciousness. So what I mean by that is that everything is made out of consciousness. In the same way that Yoda says to Luke, which is also made out of consciousness, that whole movie, you must feel the force around you. Between you and me, the tree, the rock, between the land and the ship, everywhere. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. So every single thing is a thing. But from where did that come? Like what underlies all of it? Is the thing itself? Is this thing itself the most important thing as far as it's concerned, or is it the thing that's actually perceiving it, the thing that gives it life and animates it? So like, let's say that there is some universe far away that's completely non-reachable by us, and that things exist there, but there's no perceiving consciousness to see it. Nothing is there. Nothing. There's a lot of things there, but no one is there to see it. Does it exist? Well, the material answer is yes, of course it exists. It's there, right? But if there's nothing there, where is it? Where does it stand in relation to anything? Without getting into the level of geographical coordinates and stuff, or universal coordinates, where does it exist? What life is there if there's nothing animating it, if there's no consciousness there? Similarly, what are the atoms that my body is comprised of if it weren't for life, which is me, inside of this body, living it, experiencing it as it ages, as it experiences pain and pleasure and so forth? This body it's essentially relegated to something to be put in the ground and eaten by worms and stuff, or cremated and burnt into ashes. The body itself is useless. It's absolutely useless when the life is gone, to the point that it's essentially disposed of. It gets decayed instantaneously because there's no consciousness in it. There's no life in it. So again, I can give a story about, oh, my body has this many 50 trillion atoms and this many cells and all these things. And that is true. In the same way, money has a long history, a long level of exchange, an infinite chain, so to say, of hands that it exchange. If I have a dollar, let's see, get me a dollar. This is a dollar, okay? This came into my hands, I don't know when, maybe a month or two ago, right? And I kept it in my wallet, okay? Where was this before that? Was this in Washington, D.C.? Is that where it was made? Was it in Seattle? Did it go all the way to Seattle and get transferred from gas station to gas station to store, to grocery store, to pawn shop, to whatever, to fast food chain until it reached my hands? I don't know. And then when I give it, if I give it to a homeless person, if I use it in exchange for something, for a burger or something, it then changes hands. It has a relative existence. But the only thing that gives it any existence, any meaning, any validity at all is consciousness. And so when you understand things from a consciousness standpoint, their material solidity and importance gets put into more perspective. So the point of what I'm trying to say is not to negate money or anything. It's simply to say that there is something deeper that underlies the existence of all things. Therefore, the avenues and arenas to which you put your thoughts towards can animate an entire reality within your reality and then within the larger reality. So for example, let's say that one group of people starts hating the other immensely and intensely, and then they go to war. Now all those thoughts have now turned into something that's tangible, and then the other side does a retribution, and they keep perpetrating these aggressions against each other, and the thing that was initially just thought of has now become a reality. So in order to handle this, in order to prevent things like this from happening, it's important not to try to stop negative thoughts, but to instead raise the level of consciousness whereby we don't have that internal need to hate, whereby we don't have that internal need to inflict pain on others. It's not about suppressing it, it's about moving beyond it. And when you move beyond it, you not only stop hellish realities like World War I, for example, from occurring, you also bring yourself to a higher wavelength and level yourself, whereby you're in tune with a deeper power that's not besmirched, that's not encumbered, that's not held down by limitations, and limitations which almost invariably often end up turning negative one way or the other. Like, so for example, if you identify very heavily with one group, by definition, the other group, the opposing group, will be an enemy. And then whatever they think is likely to not just be disagreed with, which is okay, but then to turn into a series of war-like mentalities. See, now this is not to say not to identify with the group, but it's to say that, to know that you may be part of a group. I'm part of of many classifications and categories given who I am. But there's more to me than that. That's the thing. It's not about disidentifying with your nation or your political party or your religion. It's about seeing that this is who I am, but I am also more than this. It's a paradox. See, Eckhart Tolle said that the Buddha, in whatever language it is, it means no man. But he's a man, because that is what he was, but he's also not a man. He is of this world and beyond this world. Similarly, with respect to money, with respect to everything, these things have an existence. But the consciousness that holds and contains it, the consciousness, the life, the thing that's consciously aware of it, is the thing that is of ultimate and absolute power, not the thing itself. So we need not reduce ourselves to our monetary or material in any sense selves. We must instead look beyond. And then use these things for what they are. Use the money as a medium for exchange rather than a medium of identity, or something to be slavishly dependent upon. Use the enjoy the country that you live in, but doesn't mean that you go in opposition to others. Enjoy the group or believe in the political party that you're part of, but be able to see and be receptive to ideas of the other side. Because when we have a sense of identity that is completely locked, it's always easily threatened. And maybe the things that we identify with are good, no question. There are a lot of things that need to be held and preserved in a sense. But at the same time, we need not close our minds to what's outside of that. And we achieve the end of not closing our minds by knowing who we are beyond the specific things from which we identify. So for example, I went on the tennis court today, and I'm a Roger Federer fan. I like Federer a lot. And my game is mirrored after him in a lot of ways and everything. But I went out there, I played like Nadal. Like, I was grunting, I was running a lot, I was hitting with some crazy spin, I was standing 15 feet behind the baseline, and it was fun. Like, who says I need to play like Federer all the time, or try to, right? Why can't I identify or embody anything that I'm physically capable of or mentally capable of? Why can't I embody that? Well, I can. I need not identify with Fed or Nadal or anybody. I'm dynamic. I'm fluid. I can think one way. I can think oppositionally. I can think of a lot of things. I can be a lot of things. It's not incumbent upon me to limit myself to anything. So all that I'm saying about myself applies to you, and it applies to everybody. We're more than what our conditioned patterns are. And in the empty field of consciousness, the emptiness underneath, like my skin color has changed, right? It's become darker as I've been out in the sun more. I've gotten older, right? I have a few white hairs at this point, right? I've changed. My circumstances have changed. My position in the earth has changed from a young boy to a student to a college student to whatever I am now, right? To being a loser in the tennis court to being a winner. Oh, hold on. Hey! What's up? Yeah. Oh my God, I thought you were someone else. I'm sorry. What's your name? I'm Jay. Nice to meet you, man. Yeah, have a good day. See? I just thought that was my friend Chris, and it was actually someone else. See? And I took her. I didn't know I was taking a risk, but see, my friend Chris drives that car, and he looks like that guy, right? It's actually somebody else, but it's okay. You see, if I was shy, if I thought about it, if I allowed my thoughts, my fearful thoughts, to interrupt the flow of what I wanted to do at that moment, I wouldn't have had that interaction. And that's a human connection I just had. What is the issue with things today? Well, from a certain yogic and consciousness sense, everything is unfolding as it should, as per universal will. But at a more worldly level, what is the issue? People don't have connection with each other, especially in the days of phones and stuff, right? But this goes far beyond that. There's an alienation. There's a fear. There's a mask we put on, a mask of normalcy, a mask of avoiding risks that don't exist, the risk of vulnerability, the risk of shedding of your own identity being hurt. And so much as my time here on earth is, I will do what I can to not live in accordance with that. And hopefully you can elicit that with another. Who knows what that interaction could have meant nothing to that guy, or it could have been nice. So basically, it's all a matter of understanding that it's all consciousness, all of it, all the things, and then going in accordance with that. Because no matter how much we have or don't have, no matter how good or bad our lives might be, they're temporary. One person may live 20 years, another person may live 100. In the scope of 1 billion years, those are about equal. They're essentially a flash in the pan. They're nothing. In the scope of eternity, 1 billion years is nothing. And the eternity is living and unfolding now. And I can see miraculous changes occurring in short order if people are able to see beyond. How much better would the political sphere be in America and elsewhere? How much better would relationships be? How many more avoidable problems could we avoid? Rather than walking into problems where there need not be problems. There's a purpose. There's a purpose to these words. There's a purpose for my life, for me saying these words as they're coming alive. There's a purpose for however you're receiving them. There's a purpose for my existence, as well as for yours, at this point in time. There's a purpose for everything, whether we can see it or not, and these purposes go to the very, very basis of reality. Whatever unhappinesses we may have are because we are not living in accordance with our deepest selves. We're creating some hedge, some sort of defense, some sort of, and I mean these things to be unnecessary things. I'm not talking about necessary defenses like locks on doors and stuff, but I'm talking about perceiving problems where there are none and then acting in accordance with that. So I think it's time for all of us to, no, let me not speak about all of us. Let me just speak for myself. I think it's time for me to look further, to look deeper and look beyond. Beyond whatever I think now, whatever my biases may be. To look into whatever my blind spots may be, if they're even perceptible. In the same way, I can look and see if I look at my mirrors, mirror 1, mirror 2, I can only see so much. But I need to actually look here to see the blind spot. And that can stop me from getting into an accident and hurting myself and somebody else. Let me look beyond. Let me look further into my own self, into my own awareness. And then let that inform whatever I do thereafter. And for anybody, I think that's a very, very helpful exercise. So, that's what I have to say for now. Hope you enjoyed it.